Hello, folks. It's the dog days of summer. It's hot. It's muggy. We're going to be trying to catch some walleye, some tough conditions, but we're going to see what we can do. We're going to be fishing the weeds around the weed edge with the jig and half a crawler. We'll see what we can get. There's one. This year's been a little bit different than last year. Last year, the fish, once they moved out of the shallows, seemed to stay around them deep humps all summer long. And this year seems a little bit different. Them fish aren't out on these deeper humps like they were all last year. There's a few out there, but not the majority that were the previous year. This year, the fish seem to be a lot more weed orientated than they were the previous year. So I'm targeting more of these weed edges as opposed to the deeper water humps. Just got a hit there. Got him. So keep that in mind. Just because you think they're going to be a certain place or a certain area doesn't always mean they're going to be there. So it's always good to have other options if they're not in a place you think they're going to be. Try something else. Don't beat a dead horse if they're not there. Go look in different areas. Try different baits. That's a good looking eater there. We'll get him back. But this year it seems like we had there's another one. Seems like we've had more algae bloom this year. So I think they're more related. Once you see that more darker water, the algae go to the weeds. There's always going to be, once the weeds come up in the spring and the summertime, there's always going to be some fish around the weeds no matter what. So it's always a good choice to target them weeds. Nice little fish. And these fish aren't very deep for summer. I mean, this is getting back. Hot as the water's going to be all year. These fish are not very deep. 9 to 11, 12 foot here. So don't have to be super deep in the summertime. Not all fish go deep. If there's weeds, there's going to be some hanging around. There's another one. And here I'm not actually fishing in the weeds. I'm off the edge of it. So I'm not really dragging I mean, you will occasionally get weeds, but I'm trying to stay just off that weed edge. Another good eater size. Getting back. And once you get catch a few fish and get a few waypoints marked, you can see where the higher percentage spots are on the weed. So you might be going down, I don't know, 1/8 of a mile or 1/4 mile of weeds, and there'll be only certain areas that really hold fish. So once you locate them, mark them on your GPS, and you can kind of get a trail to go through. There we go, another one. You can get a crumb trail as to where those hotter spots are on the weed edge that seem to hold more fish. Because once you start marking them on your GPS, you'll notice that you'll get catching have a clump of spots all in one area of the weeds, as opposed might run down a certain stretch of weeds and not get nothing. But then you come up to a certain spot and then you'll catch a few fish in that spot. It's just something different that's holding them there. Another nice little eater. Get him back. Got another hit. Let him have it for a second. Got him. See, I'm always marking my GPS when I get one. And I found this is the first year I've really used my down imaging as opposed to my sonar. It takes a while to get used to, but once you dial in that down imaging, you can really start to mark individual fish as opposed to the 2D sonar, where you can see a big mark down there. Nice one. And sometimes you don't know if it's one big fish or a couple of fish in a row. With that down imaging, you can really pick out individual fish. And if it's three or four fish right in a row, as opposed to one big mark on the 2D sonar, you can really identify the individual fish. And you can tell whether it's a group of 3 or 4 fish, perch in a row, or a bigger walleye. So just experiment with it. It's helped me a lot this year, marking more fish. A little bluegill this time. There's always some bluegill hanging around these weeds too. We'll get a quick picture and let him go. Pretty little bluegill. Got him. Another one in the net. Another nice little fish. Getting back. Got another hit. Let him have it. Doing some more wiggle worming here. Got him. Another thing with your depth finder, you can really see them weeds. Once you start seeing them real thick on your depth finder, then start moving a little deeper, so you're not dragging through them weeds. Another nice fish. Got another one. See what we got. Let me get that net. All right. Another good one. Get him back. You see him bouncing that rod tip with that wiggle worm. Keep it up to off the bottom a little bit. Another thing key here is speed. I found about 0.3 to 0.5 mile an hour was really good for me this year. So I would say start right at that 0.4 and up. You go any slower than 0.3, then you're really kind of dragging the bottom. You're going a little too slow. But it seemed like that 0.4 miles an hour this year really did the trick. See, I'll let him have it, and then stick him. Got him. So I mean, you can't be. You can tell the wind's blowing pretty good here. So you really got to have good boat control and speed control. I mean, you can't be drifting in these weeds and out of them. You got to try to take a certain path, and that's where the boat control comes in critical. That's where I use my transom mount trolling motor. Another nice one to really keep you on that crumb trail, keep you from not going too far in the weeds and not getting too far away from them. So boat control is really critical. You gotta watch your speed at all times and be aware of how close you are to the weeds and how far away you are from the weed edge. Another one. So I mean, for this technique, there's a couple factors that are key. Is that using that 16th ounce jig, real light jig, keeping it up off the bottom, not on the bottom, and your speed and boat control are really critical in this presentation. And then once again, just really bouncing that tip the whole time. And like I said before, the fish will just stop the bait. I mean, you won't really feel a hit per se. It's just more dead weight. And then once you feel that, you got your bail open. You don't have your bail closed. You got your bail open and your finger on the line. And then once you feel that weight, you let the line go and give him some line so you don't detect the pressure. If you got your bail closed, you're gonna feel that pressure that you're putting on the rod, and he might drop it. I think we got a good one here. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So yeah, you definitely want to keep your finger on the line. Oh yeah, nice fish. And then once you feel that hit, let it go. Good looking walleye, nice thick one. So keep your finger on the line, and once you feel that hit, let go of your finger and let the line go, and then give him a little bit of time to eat that worm, and then set the hook. We'll get this fish back. Good one. You tell him just bouncing that tip constantly. So I mean, the boat's moving the bait. You're not. So you're going at 0.4 miles an hour, moving through along this weed edge, and you're just bouncing the tip. And then once you feel the hit, just let them have it. Similar to a Lindy rig, but you're not. A Lindy rig, you're not bouncing it the whole time. Got him. Oh, this could be another good one. Nah, it's a little guy. get the net. Nice little fish. Getting back. Whoa, I just got another nice one here. Got him in the net. Let's take him out and take a look at him. Another beautiful fish. So remember, folks, dog days of summer, go to the weed edge, poke around the weed edge and see what you can find. Walleye, bluegill, nice thick fish. We'll get a picture of them and let them go. Well, I hope you enjoyed it and take care.